All right, we have another graph question, and this one does seem like we need the passage to be able to answer it. But here's the thing. Whenever we have figure questions, our first job should be to look at the figure and see if we can use that to eliminate all the answers. So we want to first look for accuracy, and then we want to look at whether or not that's relevant to the passage. So this is a great example of narrowing your focus, right? We don't want to start by looking at the big picture because the big picture is usually harder to understand. But little details, we can usually find some problems there. So let me give you a great example. Choice A, right? So I'm not going to worry about whether this supports or weakens the passage because I'm not looking there yet. I'm going to focus on whether this matches with the graph, the easier thing to narrow my focus to. Because the data show that merely moving drivers out of cars can induce traffic. Now, induce is a tough vocab word, but it basically means cause. Meaning, in this case, it's increasing traffic. Well, here's the thing. If you look at the chart, decrease, 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 decrease. The change in traffic seems to be a decrease. So I don't care about anything except that word induce. That one word is making everything wrong. So I'm narrowing my focus. I'm looking for that little thing that might be wrong because that's much easier than thinking big. There's one other choice where it doesn't match. Choice D, the data show that traffic reductions due to road alterations tend to be brief. Well, I don't see anything but time on this figure, right? It's just before and after. It doesn't say what happens 5 days after, 5 months after, 5 years after, right? Like there's no time element here. So I don't know if they tend to be brief. This isn't like it contradicts what the chart says. It's more just that it's not even mentioned in the chart. So I can't know this. The chart doesn't support or weaken this argument because it doesn't give any information about this. So that's gone too. And now we have a 50-50 shot of getting this right, even if we've never read a word of the passage. So let's look at these pieces. They do seem to be correct. The data show that reducing road capacity can lead to a net reduction in traffic. Well, yes, we saw all these decreases, so net reduction seems right, and we're definitely decreasing road capacity. Look at all these numbers going down as well, right? So that's what we're doing. So that seems to match. Choice C. The data show that in some cases, road alterations lead to greater traffic on surrounding roads. Well, that is kind of true. This one's an increase. This one's an increase. This one's an increase. So that does seem true. But now we have to think about the big picture. And in terms of the big picture, choice C is really talking about some exceptions to the rule, whereas B is talking about the rule. And if we remember what we read in the passage, even if we didn't quite understand everything, I remember that this author is talking about how we want to make traffic go away by making driving less convenient. So if we alter the road and basically close the road, his argument is that's good because that means that there will be less traffic overall. And that seems to match with what this chart is saying. So B is the answer. This supports his point. His whole point in this passage is about reducing traffic, right? Traffic congestion. Traffic is a problem, right? At the end here, even though from an environmental perspective, inconvenient travel is a worthy goal, right? So he's talking about reducing traffic. This chart seems to suggest that changing the roads does reduce traffic overall. It's a little tricky, but notice it's less difficult if we can get rid of those A and D choices first. And so that's always your primary goal when a figure question seems to be about the passage. See if you can use the figure first to get rid of some choices. Then it'll make your decision a little easier when you do need to go back to the passage.